everybody. It is Call. You are watching Talking Ball, and next to me is my great co-host, Jose. What's up, Jose?
It's just another Thursday. Played football last night. My body aches the day after playing football. I've let myself into a double session again tomorrow night. So,
how do you keep getting roped into those?
Well, they were short, and they put a message out, and I said, "Yeah, go on, then I'll play." But tomorrow I'll be wiped out for Saturday. It's a good job Tottenham are not playing at the moment, so I can afford to have a lay-in on Saturday.
Absolutely. Well, hey, so tell everybody how you did. Everybody needs to know what was your goal tally and assist tally yesterday.
I scored 1 and I assisted 2. We were 2-1 down at halftime, and we came back to win 5-2.
Can't beat that. You can't beat that. So I sent Ellie the wrong stream link, so that explains why she's not here. But yeah, so we've got Ellie joining us today. Everybody, if you've seen the, I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and we'll only let in Ellie.
I've sent a link to Adrian as well.
Okay, great. I'm just throwing this in there. Only people that have ever been on the show before or are in the chats can come on. We're not having another mistake like the other day. But anyway, you guys, if you've seen, first of all, we've got some people in the chat. Julie Sievers, that's my mom. Good day, Spurs fans. Good day, Julie. Good day, Mom. Hope you're having a good day of work today. Everybody else is watching. It says we've got 8 people in the chat. Hey, say hi, everybody.
Adrian sent a message before your mum, but it's not appearing. It's in our in the back room. We can see it. He sent one at 3:57.
What did he say?
I'll bring it up. Hold on. Here we go.
Hey, good afternoon, Adrian. Heard you at a friend's house today. That's wonderful. Glad you guys are hanging out, having fun. Thanks for tuning in. If you are, truly appreciate you, sir. But yeah, it says we've got 8 viewers right now, which is awesome. To you 8 people, big love, big up. Thanks for being here. Please slap that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't yet. But if you saw the thumbnail, you know that we're talking a bit about center backs today. And it's going to be a good conversation as we've got good center backs finally. But yeah, are you about ready to get going into the center back talk? Oh, 1 second again. Sorry, guys. Hello, Adrian. Yeah, man, we were just talking about you. Sure thing. Yeah, I'll get you on. Just be good, and actually, no, be bad. Be bad. We like you better when you're bad. Here we go. So Adrian is here, everybody. It is the great Adrian Sroka in the house. What's up, my man?
What an intro. I'm around with friends at the moment, so it's just getting this laptop set up to be able to come on. Yeah, it's good to be on. You guys all right?
Yeah, can't complain. Yeah. Can't complain. Whoa, we've got somebody else here. She didn't call in because I was too excited and I didn't get the bit going. But it's my mom. It's Julie. What's up, Mom?
Hey, I got a weird echo thing going on. Sorry.
You got to get rid of YouTube. Then close YouTube.
Yeah, if you've got YouTube and StreamYard, it'll echo. So you can.
I do. There we go.
Right, okay.
Boom. Right. Hey, good to see you.
Good to see
you. So we'll ask you first, Mom. We've got a new center back pairing this season, and you've been pretty happy with them overall.
Yes. How could you not be?
Absolutely. We've got this guy. Look at that face. Look at how excited he is to be a Spurs player. Love him to bits. And then we've got this man right here, Christian Romero. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good in the center back department, and that's an area where we've kind of struggled in the past couple of years. I'll flip it to Adrian. How do you feel about having a competent center back partnership for once?
Well, for once, Romero looks good and solid, doesn't he? And I think that's having Van der Ven beside him. And they both played really well against Luton, didn't they? I mean, like Van der Ven got got most of the praise, but Romero was outstanding as well. I thought in that game, very calm under pressure. And now that we do a high press, see when you've got a low pressure, you're inviting trouble all the time, and eventually defenders will make mistakes. And I just think this high press and the fact that we've got pace at the back in all areas, not just the centre backs, that we can get out of trouble. That's why we can play this high press. So great pairing. We could do another quality centre back. I know fans are screaming for Ashley Phillips and Dorian.
Me. Yeah.
But I think with a third quality centre back and Phillips, you've got a minimum 40 games a season. If you need be, you could give them both players 20 games each. So I don't think it's an issue of like worrying about getting a player in and not getting game time and not being happy, because it works for Pep, right? So, and if we want to get up there, which we do, it should work for us as well.
100%. Ma, do you agree? Do you think that it's Van de Ven's pace beside Romero?
Exactly.
Because Romero looked a little rash at times last season.
Exactly.
Looked like he was throwing himself in last ditch tackles. But yeah,
I think Romero felt like he
covering.
had to do it all himself, and I think now he's got a little bit more confidence with the big man next to him. And for a very tall guy, I can't believe how fast Mickey is. I mean, he's just crazy fast. Who's here?
Good afternoon, Julie.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Julie.
I'm trying to
Hey,
get up the
Julie,
next
hey.
person who's coming on, so that's why I've been.
Let's get you right in. Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. We've got royalty with us. It's Queen Ellie. Ellie.
Yeah, I was struggling with the link she sent me.
I sent you the wrong one.
Yeah.
I accidentally joined it myself, and I was like, "Where is everybody?" And then I realized I was in the wrong one.
I know. Don't matter. The main thing is we're all here now.
We're a big family, and we're all here.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, welcome to everybody in the chat. The chat is full of cool people. We got Mia right here.
Thanks for Mia
Mama's
today.
Rule. Yeah,
We got
Mia's
Colin's
Mia's a mama
Mama's
too.
Rule.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a lovely chat today, me and Mia. It was lovely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful person.
You've blown out Kate, Ellie.
Huh?
You've blown out Kate then.
No, I voicemail Kate because she never picks up her phone.
That sounds like her. So I forget how. Do you remember, Jose, how this wonderful person had us pronounce their name yesterday?
No, I don't.
Me neither. If you could remind us, big up to you. I feel like an idiot, but it's spelled so interestingly. It's hard to Cherie. That's probably super wrong. I just a guess, but big up to you.
You might be right. You might be right. Cherie doesn't sound too far off the mark.
Yeah.
I remember that from yesterday, I think. Oh yes, I forgot that me as a big Romero fan. We've been talking about center backs and how it feels to finally have a competent center back pairing. We'll get your opinion real quick on that too.
Oh my God,
do you feel good? Do you feel like we finally have a center back pairing worth their salt, worth their pay, and we think it's making Romero look better, having Van de Ven next to him.
Yeah, I feel good.
This one's for Julie.
We got Cutie. We got VDV. Yes, I will. Do you know what? They are fantastic, aren't they? Both of them.
True.
Romero has stepped up to when he first came, and even better because he's not making any of those rash tackles anymore. He's going in clean. I like that part of him, but obviously we don't want to lose every bit of aggression from him because that's what makes him Romero, right? But VDV, he's added a new lease of life to the whole of the defence, not just Romero. He's such a calm influence on everybody, and he's a good communicator. I've noticed that about him. Yeah, and the speed on him, he's like Motor Mouse, isn't he? Mickey the Motor Mouse. He's
I love
not scared of the ball coming over his head because he knows he can deal with it with his pace. Yeah, I love them both.
So
Long may they continue to play as they are.
Mia's got Julie. Big up to you, and Colin is a lovely guy, and you've done a wonderful job.
Aw.
Yeah, what a lovely son you produce.
Thanks, Mama. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And that's
I appreciate you.
Nice wink from the son to mum.
Yeah.
We got
Sonny's wife saying hi, all coys, and then she says, Ellie.
Thank you.
Showing the
Thank you,
love,
Sonny
showing
Ray.
the love. That's what this channel is all about: is love and showing each other some love. So
And then we have
appreciate
Nick.
all
Good
that.
afternoon, Nick. He says, hi, panel.
What's up,
I
Nick?
was watching another Spurs stream earlier, and they were saying about how there are at least 5 centre-backs better than ours. I don't care what other teams have. I love our centre-back pairing.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude right there. I mean, Jose.
One of your Patreons.
It's all
Wayne, my man.
Wayne Barner.
Sup, everyone?
Wayne is an
Hope you're all
OG.
well. Best centre backs only going to get better and stronger.
Yes.
I think
Big up, Wayne.
I think the trust that Ange has shown in Cootie by making him a vice captain has really paid off. I think that it's settled him, and I think that he still has the fire, but he's a little bit more mindful and a little less rash.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, that was a master stroke by our Ange.
It really was.
Yeah, well done.
Smart. He's
Well
a smart coach. He's shown it over and over. I know you are working on getting through the comments, Jose, and I totally appreciate that. But I want your opinion real quick. That last comment about there being at least 5 better center back pairings in the league. I don't see it. I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah.
Well, City's got that one guy that everybody wanted. What's his name? Vardy. Yeah, and I know he's a good center back. So I mean, City, I guess you could say are up there, but with unlimited, with unlimited money, you can do a lot of things. So City, I could see being up there with us. I don't think that, and this is biased, but I don't think Saliba and Gabriel are better than our guys.
On the
Van Dijk's old.
To answer your question, Colin, I had a chat. I phoned up earlier on today, a few hours ago, in fact, and we had a chat about something similar, about something that happened on another show, but something similar where centre backs were being talked about. And it's interesting because I said to Ellie that it depends how you're asking the question. If you don't quantify how you're asking the question, you could get 2 different answers. So if someone prefers Saliba and Gabriel, then what are you comparing this to? Are you comparing this to the sample size that they've been playing with each other for a lot longer? Or are we comparing the question to the sample size we've seen this season? So you're basing who are the best centre-back pairings for the first 8 games of the Premiership?
And I guess that is my question.
It all depends how you ask the question, determines what answer you're going to get. So I said to Ellie that in my opinion, I'd be hard pushed to find a better 2 after 8 games. But I can understand why people will include other pairings because the sample sizes are going to be far bigger because our players have only been together for 8 games. Does that answer the question for you?
That's a perfect answer. That's a perfect answer. But I think what they've been able to do in 8 games, like you said, you pointed that out. That is incredible. What they've been able to accomplish, and how well they've gelled. Adrian, we're just going around in a circle. But do you think that's down to Postecoglou's the fact that he used to be a defender himself? I think that might be helping him coach our defenders and make them a little better. But yeah, do you think this system just lends itself well to their style of play? Because like Jose said, they really have in 8 games look like they've been together for years, and I just wonder what that's down to. Maybe to them both just being good players, but I think the system is probably helping that as well. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and because we play a high press, like I said, I think that makes a big difference. It takes pressure off them because they've got the pace to get out of trouble. The strange stat is the fact that the high press has proven that we've had more shots on target than any other team. If you want to go glass half empty, we've also missed more good chances than any other team. Richie being a prime example. The only thing's a little bit of concern. I'm not sure it's affected our centre backs yet. We have picked up more yellow cards than the other team, 27. Which in 8 games, it's like 3 a game. It might be normal throughout a season, though. I mean, I'd have thought 2 yellow cards a team might be pretty normal throughout a season. That may Postecoglou may have to look at that and sort of we have picked up a few silly ones Basuma's first yellow against Luton, falling over a player. There are some little niggly ones that are given away when the players probably give you a kick early in the game and a little bit of retaliatory strikes there. Some are a bit silly. Dissent, if you get one for dissent,
Oh yeah.
I think you should be fined, even if the money goes to charity, because that has got to be stopped. If you get sent off for dissent now, it's 2 yellow cards.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad they're finally enforcing that, because before, especially in like Spain.
Sorry, it's a 2 ban. It's not a 1 ban. It's a 2 game ban. If you get sent off for dissent, it's a 2 game ban. So,
Sweet.
Let's hope that's cut out. And the diving, Basuma's dive, no excuse for it. We don't want that in the game. Leave that theatrics for the European sides. We don't want that in the Premier League, right? And if you're going to get booked for it, I think that will stop. Yeah.
I was just going to say, if Kate's husband Jim was a centre back, he'll be off every game.
Oh, we got jokes. We got jokes.
And to the original question, well, I don't think there's a better centre back pairing in the Premier League than we've got. The Man City one may equal it. Arsenal may equal it on a good day, but I don't see there being outstanding. If someone said there's 5 better centre back pairings, they're obviously a Spurs hater or a rival that
smoking.
They just don't know what they're talking about. Just don't know. The stats wouldn't back them up anyway. I mean, we have conceded a couple of goals. Probably, I don't know how many goals we've conceded now.
I think we've conceded 8, is it? Oh, let's count them.
Well, 2 against Burnley, 2 against Arsenal, 2 against Brentford is 6. 1 against Liverpool. United, 7. 1 against Liverpool's 8.
Ooh. Hey, and Jose, I just saw Cherie's comment.
That's what I was just about to. I was going to say, do you want to take the comment?
Yeah. So all you guys from America. I know Ellie. She is the England new queen. Yes, England does need a new queen. That is you. And then R.I.P. By the way, rest in peace to wonderful lady. But back to this. Yeah. So I'm from the U.S. My mom is obviously from the U.S. Jose has a cool, interesting story, and I'll let him answer that. But Adrian, you're just straight up British, right? I mean, you just lived in England, right?
I'm in Edmonton. I'm in Edmonton. I'm a season ticket holder ground. I live 1.5 miles from the ground. I walk home from some games, so because you can't get buses because the roads are closed.
Oh, everything's just closed off, so full.
Yeah. I've only seen Adrian on the bus once.
Yeah, on the bus stop with Alex. He was with Alex.
We were bus buddies. I was with Alex eating cake.
Alex, box office Alex?
Yeah. He loves cake.
Sweet. That's awesome. He's a good man. I haven't seen him in a while. But Jose, so I never told everybody where you were from. I wanted you to give your answer on that one.
My parents are from the northwest of Spain, from a region called Galicia, and we're from a town called La Coruña, which makes me Gallego. But my parents came here in the 60s to find work, and I was born in good old London town, bang right smack in the middle in Westminster.
Okay, very posh.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Sound different now to when I was a young man.
I bet. It's crazy. It's crazy how many accents there are in such a, you know what I mean? It's relatively small area. Yeah. Us being from the US, there's tons of different accents, mine included, but we have a big geographic location.
So so let's say, for instance, I watched our show and I'm on it with you, Colin. So I'm speaking to you and I'm getting your twang, and then you come off that and you start listening to Jacob, and there's a totally different.
Oh yeah.
There.
Oh
yeah.
He's
in Texas, so yeah.
So you've got the same as us, only that you're a much bigger country, and you have the differences that we have as well. But you're a much bigger country than us. So
yeah.
But it's weird. I wonder where all those accents came from. That'd be a good thing for me to like do some research into, is how all those started. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There we go.
my
I had
mum
a little
was
bit of
in
echo
England
there.
for 55 years. My mum in England, and she never lost her Greek accent.
Really?
She talked
I think
like
you
this.
can keep it if you try. You know what I mean? If you make sure to try to keep it, I think you can keep hold of your accent.
Yeah, her English was good though.
Yeah.
Said like this, Greek.
Doggies.
Is that
Miss Jose?
That's both.
Kira?
The Mets?
Oh, it's both. It's Kira and
Both of them.
Kaiba.
They're
I
barking at the
thought
door.
it was
I can hear them at the door.
KPV.
So Kira and Kaiba are the names of Jose's awesome German shepherds. And they heard something. They're doing their job, being guard dogs. But man, I love questions like this, Shuri. Thank you so much. Like I said, this whole thing is just for us to get to know each other and for Spurs fans to come together and create a family. And so thank you for asking. Where are you from, Shuri? I'd like to know where you're from also, if you don't mind.
And then we've
Nita.
got Nita. Hi, panel in chat. Listened to your show for the first time yesterday, and I so enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Nita.
Thank you. It's very wonderful to have you here. It's always good to get new people in. Let us know where you're from, if you don't mind. We would love to know.
And we have more. We have Wayne Barnett on the centre backs. If the scum centre backs are better than ours, then why are they beneath us on goal difference?
Exactly.
We have
Thank you.
beer talk in the house.
Yay.
Morning, everyone.
Beer talk, my guy. Morning to you too,
Hi,
man.
Beer Talk. Sonny's
and
wife.
after-
Hi.
And there's his comment. Look, you should hear the accents I hear in Arkansas.
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 Yeah.
It looks like
Arkansas accents
Arkansas.
are pretty thick. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Has it got anything
No,
to do with
I like it.
Kansas? Arkansas. Do they have anything to do? Because they got Kansas in their name.
Yeah.
They're next
I'm
door
not
neighbors,
really
aren't
sure.
they?
Yeah. I think they are. I think they're right next to each other, so they probably were all one big place at one point, and then probably split it up in some dumb war we have over here every couple of years. Not anymore, but we used to over land all the time.
Get out the door,
I love Haaland is here again, and this is Sonny's friend, as far as I remember, Sonny's wife's friend.
Yes.
Hello, ladies
Absolutely.
and gentlemen. I am a Man City fan, but I often watch this show. This show is interesting, and my friend wants me to shut up here.
No, we like it. Keep going. Don't feel like you have to shut up.
There's the friend with the smiley faces, Sonny's wife.
Yeah.
Yes. Big love
have
to both
Leo.
you guys. Leo, my guy. What is up, dude? Yeah. Boop. Good to see you, Leo. Hope you're doing well, man.
Beer Talk
And
saying
then-
it's got nothing to do with Kansas.
Well, good, because Kansas is the worst state. If I had to talk
Only
about
to drive
states in, like,
through.
my,
It's the most boring state to drive through. Oh God.
it's like a 6 or 7 hour drive through one state. It's awful, and it's just a straight line, and there's nothing around you. They take you through the country. It's just
grain
grain
elevators
elevator.
and churches and lots of grain.
sadness. It just seems like a place with yes. It makes sense. It's just like that. It's just like
Arkansas
that.
has
Wishes and
hills
everything.
and forests and all kinds of pretty things. So
Yeah,
lakes,
Kansas
lots of
is
lakes.
just-
That's
Arkansas.
interesting because you're saying it's a 6 to 7 hour drive through the state itself. It's a 6 or 7 hour drive from London to Scotland for us.
We do a lot of driving here. That's what we're not afraid of a good drive here in the US. It's one time, I'll just tell a quick story, but one time I had the next day off work, and I said, "Hey Beth, you want to drive to Florida and stay?" And so we hoofed it to Florida it was like a 9-hour drive, drove 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
10, 11, 12-hour drive, drove there, and then drove right back. Had spent the day on the beach and then came home. I mean, we do wild stuff like that here in the U.S. We are not afraid of a good drive.
Yeah, but your country, but the US is a huge. It's a monster of a country the size of it.
It is.
You dwarf quite a bit of Europe. Just looking on land mass alone, you dwarf quite a bit of Europe as it is. So, and we're just tiny old England.
But you guys, the population just we're not very dense population wise, compared to a lot of other places. Everybody's all spread out. But yeah, the U.S. is a weird place. Thank you guys for giving it to. Well,
Isn't it, Lake
we had it first.
Lake Superior is bigger than England, I believe.
Really?
Wow, that
I
is
think
interesting.
so. I think one of your lakes, when I did geography A level, I'm sure. I think it's Lake Superior.
I believe it, and that sounds like it.
We're all bought from the French. A lot of the towns and counties are bastardized French sayings like Ozark, O-Arc. Okay.
We live in an old I live in an old French city called Vincennes that was originally French, and French fur traders were the ones who populated, other than the indigenous people here, and they were the first people. But my city's been under 6 different countries' control before we became Americans. So,
dang,
that's history, isn't it?
Interesting,
crazy,
absolutely. See, you came here for Spurs. You're getting some history right now. Yeah, absolutely.
We're really boring people to death.
I know, but we still got everyone's still here. Niall Kane, what is up, Niall?
Kelly's friend Niall from Scotland, who lives in Scotland.
Yeah, Montreux.
That's awesome. So you knew all about Big Ange before he came over here. You were probably one of the ones singing his praises at the beginning. Big up, and good to have you here. And
Niall was in Scotland, not in Australia.
Yeah, but
yeah. I'll shut up.
No. At first I was like, "Wait, am I dumb?" But then I was like, "Okay, good."
Don't give us those opens, Colin.
Yeah, sorry. No, nobody's dumb. But guys,
should we tell people what we're planning to do in the future?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what we're doing is you already know that the show, we always have a topic to start off with. And we'll discuss it, and we are still discussing the centre backs at the moment. We've also got the section of Keeper Westbound, which is the best loved segment in the whole of the internet, from what Colin tells me.
I swear it is.
I think the open is so cringe, but people seem to like it.
No, it's brilliant. It's superb. So we still have that. We have Guest Corner that we've brought in, where you all give us your opinions of why you support Tottenham, love Tottenham, or a game in time, a moment in time. And then like that, we can share that with both the panel and the chat. But we're also going to introduce, have we got a name for the corner, for the ladies stuff?
Not yet. We need to ask Ellie what she would like it to be called. Ellie, the cat's out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag on this one. Ellie's having her own segment where she's going to tell us about the world and what's happened with the ladies. You know, the Tottenham Hotspur women's team. Also going to talk about a tiny bit about her life and her personal story. We're going to try to coax some of that out of her. She doesn't like talking about herself too much, but we're gonna see what we can get her to say. And so that's coming up today, and then
as from tomorrow, I think we've agreed we're going to have a section which is called Spurs Historical
Perspective,
and that will be led by our very own Adrian.
Yay,
Mr. Adrian Sorko over here. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
And that will be a history of Tottenham, narrated and told to us by Adrian, who, for one reason or another, has been a season ticket holder longer than any of us on the panel, and has
been a season ticket holder longer than I've been alive, probably.
Has a whole wealth of knowledge and is ready to educate us all.
Thank you, sir. I'm excited.
How about for my section? Because I've got on the Twitter, I've got Spurs Are Us. How about Spurs Ladies Are Us?
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna. I have an opening ready for you today. I made it last night, Ellie.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what's coming up with the channel. We're trying to vary and give different perspectives and different themes to try and see whether we can cover most of our club. So hopefully you'll join us for the ride and you'll enjoy it. We're certainly going to enjoy it. We're certainly going to be educated, and we'd like you all to enjoy it and all to be educated as well.
Nice.
So speaking of educated, we've got 3 Keeper West Hams today. 2 of them are players I don't know anything about, so I'm going to need to be educated there. But Nita says, from London town, between White Hart Lane and the Emirates. Been a fan for many, many years of the true North London club. now called Tottenham Hotspur. Absolutely big up, and a good thing that you didn't have any family members or anybody pushing you to support the red scum. Yuck.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad to have you here. Very glad to have you here.
Nita.
Well, guys, we teased it a bit, so I think it's time. I think it's time to keep or West Ham. What do you guys think?
I love this bit.
Hey, it's Cole and Jose, your host for Keeper West Ham. Guys, I cut Jose off really bad, so I'm really sorry. You were saying something right before I just started the intro, Jose, and I apologize. Like I said, I hate to cut you off, my man.
I was just saying I'm looking forward to this because I don't know what's coming up, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay, so I'm going to start with one that is a more current one to get everybody in, my mom included.
Because I don't know the old ones.
Me neither. Okay, but here we go. Here's the first one, guys. Richarlison versus the Nasir Chadli.
You're evil.
And both players that could play up front if needed, but are more wingers in my opinion. Both players who, have scored some goals. Chadli, believe it or not, has actually scored more for Spurs than for Richarlison. So it's tough. It's tough because, like I said, they're both kind of cult favorites, or at least to me. I love Nasser Chadli. But Richarlison, is awesome too. And Richarlison has, shown glimpses. We paid a lot of money for him. It's tough, and I'd like to know: do you guys think it's tough? First of all, is this tough for y'all in the panel?
So.
Well, Jose doesn't look like it's hard for him. Adrian, let's have you go first. Who are you picking, buddy?
I'm keeping Nasser Chadli. I haven't really seen enough of. To be fair to Richie, let's hope that Ange gets a tune out of him, because otherwise this is going to be a make or break season for him. If he starts dropping him, he'll end up being brought on as an impact sub, won't he? Chadli, to me, he was one of the 7 brought in when we sold Gareth Bale, when I was saying we sold Elvis and bought the Beatles. You know what I mean? And I just thought, and I would like to have seen more of Chadli. I liked him as a player.
Me too. I don't know why he left. I think it was for playing time.
With Richie, I'm more hopeful than liking him as a player. Look, he has to perform where he goes. We're moving up. The team's evolving. And to me, I keep Chadli every day of the week, twice on Sundays.
Mom, looks like you're thinking the same.
You know me, Colin. You know that I love me some Chadli. When he was playing and he wasn't in the game and we needed that spark, I would be chanting in front of the TV, Chadli, Chadli, Chadli.
She did. It was almost making it hard to watch the games.
Hey, stop it. I really, really, really like him. I will say, on an emotional level, I really do like Richie, and I really want to see him come alive. I know that it's in him, and I think that he's a really great human being, but I think he's really kind of immature, and I'm hoping that somewhere he can harness it all and turn it around, because he's got a lot of potential. But if I had to choose between them right now, it would be Chadli, hands down.
Boom. Love it. Ellie, what about you?
Yeah, same here. You can't really go with Richie, because if it was just head ball,
right.
He scores with his head. Richarlison, he scores with his head. But the thing is, Chadli had a lot about his game. He was good at passing. He was good at finishing. He got about the pitch. He was a box-to-box midfielder. I think he was more. He's a winger stroke midfielder in my book, because he used to cut inside. But I loved him because he was committed. And like your mum, I was shouting Chadli, because on the other flip side, I'd love Richie to come good. You
Oh
know,
God, yes.
his
Yeah.
record isn't that bad, you know. Like I saw he had 43 or 46 goals for Everton in 135 matches, and he had 20 goals, 21 goals for Brazil out of 44 matches. That's not a bad return. But it's just that Spurs, he hasn't hit the ground running. He's trying too hard.
I would say, do you think it's all mind problems with him? Like, do you think that obviously he's got the talent? You were talking about the goals that he scored. You don't just forget how to do that, I don't think, but it must be in his head. He looks so angry all the time. I think, you know what I mean? I think that just needs to relax a bit.
What I'd advise him to do is to go to some samba dancing so he can sort out his feet.
There you go.
There you go. You know what I mean? Because those Brazilians, when they move, they can move.
He should, yes. It's sad that I think that Emerson Royale's got better feet than Richarlison, at least right now, which is, we all hated on Emerson for so long. So it's tough. It's tough. We got some comments here, but I want to hear your point on this one too. What are you thinking? Let me bring them back up. Yeah.
Me, I'm keeping R9.
You're going against the grain.
I'm keeping Richarlison. All Richarlison needs to do, in my eyes, is go out for one night only with Shakira. If he goes out one night only with Shakira and dances and gets them hips moving, then the chance that he had that came off him in the first 3 minutes last weekend, if he could shake his hips a bit more, he could have got round to that ball. So it takes one night of dancing with Shakira, and Shakira is known to like footballers. One night dancing with Shakira, and I think that would calm all his troubles down, and that will make the man come good for us.
Her hips do not lie.
He plays great for the national team.
Yeah, well,
kind of.
Brazil is 9, isn't he?
1 in 2 nearly. 1 in 2 for the national team.
But yeah, Sonny's wife saying that he hasn't shown anything yet compared to his expensive price, and that's a big old yes for me. I think that one of our most expensive players to date, and
I think that's hasn't weight around his neck, though. You know,
true. I think it's a trend at Spurs too that our big signings don't come through.
Did you do this one? Big up.
Yes. Jason G. That's Jason Groves, I believe. Jason.
Yeah.
Good to see you, my guy. I miss your voice, mate. I can't do an impression, but Jason Groves has the coolest. He's got the coolest accent. Very cool accent for it.
Is he English then?
Yeah, he's proper London.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Well, you sounded very Australian when you did it, Colin.
Well, I mean, there's similarities between that.
Well, there's big differences too.
They don't sound like that.
It's brilliant when the Americans say, "Are you Australian?" And then when they say it, you feel like, "No, I'm not Australian. I'm English." I'm English. It's brilliant when
you're English. They're a little bit disappointed as well because they want to meet the Aussies.
No, we love the Brits just as much, but I feel like I don't have an accent, I think, but I know I do, but in my head, no, I don't.
Oh, you don't have an accent.
You're American.
Is my hard to understand?
No.
I hope
not.
Right.
I can understand you.
Good. Okay, good. Okay, but real quick.
Y'all.
I do love to say y'all. That's something I picked up. I moved a little bit further south from mom, and so everyone around here. Well, I'm right by Kentucky now. Everybody says y'all.
You're very close to Kentucky.
I could be in Kentucky in 5 minutes if anybody wanted to know.
I can be in Illinois in 2.
I could be in Illinois in about 10. So we've got Mile High Hotspur Leo saying he loved Chadley and always will love Chadley, but he is keeping R9. He is on your side, Jose. So
I was going to say Chadley was a good player, but for me, Chadley didn't do it often enough. I don't think he showed up to games often enough, and I think in some games he actually went hiding. But as a player, he was a good player. He could play as your false. He could play as a 10. He could play as a false 9. He could play out wide. You know, and I remember Chadley played against us was it a Dutch club? Before we bought him, the season before, he played against us in Europe for a Dutch club.
Yeah.
Seems like we scout players a lot that way. We see somebody from one of these smaller teams who are playing in Europe, and we're like, oh, hey.
Did he come from Vitesse Arnhem or something? Someone that we played in Europe the season before. The season before we actually came up against him in a European tie. And he played well. He played well against us in both games, and on the back of that, we went and signed him the following summer.
I think it was Anderlecht. No, wait, it might have been Ghent.
No, he came. I'm sure it was a Dutch. Whoever it was, whoever he came from, was it Royal Antwerp? No,
very, very possibly. Let me see here.
Whoever he played for, he played against us twice in Europe the season before, and he had a good game. FC20.
FC20.
Aha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right.
You're better at Googling than me.
Tottenham
They
played.
had the little player we were going to sign.
Tottenham played
FC20.
FC20 twice the season before in Europe, and in both games he had a really good game. He shone in both games against us, and because of that, when we got the bail money, that was we spent part of the money on Chadley.
Yeah,
he was relatively inexpensive though, right, Adrian? Do you remember what we paid for him? I don't exactly, but I don't think it was a lot.
I don't remember. Too far back.
I was hoping I could poke the computer over there. You're my Tottenham computer with all your knowledge.
Well, Modric was cheap. I think he was only about 16 mil.
Yeah, that was a wild one. I can't believe that. That's crazy, especially with it was obvious how talented he was.
What did we sell Modric for? Because I can always remember what we sold Bale for and players like that, but I can't remember what we sold Modric for.
I don't think it was much, like 40.
Really, that low?
I think it was 40 something.
Real quick, I want to go through these comments. Anita says, Ange just said that there is room for Richarlison in the team. To me, that means Richie ain't going nowhere for now. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. He's got this season for sure to prove himself, like Adrian was saying earlier, make or break season for him.
Well, just to be fair to him, apart from the fact he hasn't had a consistent run under Conte or anyone, I mean, if you're a professional footballer, even to come through your low-level academies, you have to have a certain skill set. So he's obviously got that skill set, right? And he eventually got a move to Watford, played well there enough to get a move to Everton, was their best player there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the weight of following in Kane's footsteps, which is weighing heavily on him, or the fact
it is.
But to me, he actually against Luton, he put in quite a shift. But it'll be no glaring miss. But to me, it's just, and people say he hasn't got a touch. Look, you don't become a Premier League player if you haven't got a touch, right? It's not. But it's just that the main thing with him is trying too hard. And I just think his touch has deserted him. It's there. It's got to be there. He'll never have made a Premier League if he hadn't got touch, right? So it's there, but it's just deserted him from now. And so
he'll be back. He'll be back. I really pray that he'll find form. He'll get happy again, and they'll start banging him in. Just wanted to say hey to Mom. She is back. What is up, Mom? And then we got Drula in the chat. Drula. Good to have you here. Very good to have you. And then Dan was letting us know that it was FC20. You're right. And then he says, how about he gets the night with Dancing with Shakira and Richie just does his bloody job, which is score goals. Hey,
I wouldn't mind the night with her. Dancing.
She'd be a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. I bet she knows how to have a fun time out on the town. Are you guys ready, though? I think we've beat that one into the ground. So now it's time for me to learn a thing or two here from you guys who are going to have to explain some stuff to me.
Okay.
We got Nick Barmby versus Mark Falco. And again, players that I don't know a thing about, and maybe a lot in the chat don't either. Some probably do. But if you guys, whoever goes first, and let's make.
Can I explain why I chose these two?
Of course.
Right. So for those that want to know, Mark Falco played in an era when the two forwards that we would mainly use were Garth Crooks and Steve Archibald. So Mark Falco had to share game time with these players. And then Nick Barmby played in the same team that Teddy Sheringham and Jurgen Klinsmann played in. And sometimes he would have to share minutes with these players as well if we played two strikers. So I thought two different eras, third wheel players, it's what some people will call them, but I felt they were vital for our teams at the time because they did score goals. So that's the reason why I put these two in as keeper West Ham.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So we've already got some answers in here. Wayne Bonner, God, Wayne Bonner, you're awesome, dude. Wayne Bonner says Chris Armstrong didn't score his first league goal till October versus Everton away. This is Richie's first season as a main striker, but when he hits it, he'll be off like a runaway train. I really hope you're right. For some reason, that was hard for me to read. I'm a bad reader, but no, for sure. I think Richie's coming back. I think he's gonna do well. And obviously, he's doing it in training because he's getting picked for matches. So yeah. But we got an answer. Nita says she's going with Barmby. So there's one vote there. We got Ellie back. What is up, Ellie? Did you get rid of the Nargles or whatever you got over there?
So I'm not sure though.
Oh, no problem. You're still a little crackly, but no worries. No worries. So Drula says it was 30 mil that we sold Modric for, which is wild. We doubled our money, I guess, but Jesus, that's a low fee. Bonner says that Falco and Barmby, both good players. He's not making that choice. You have to. Come on, Wayne. That's part of the fun. Jason G says Falco for me, but Barmby had a lot of shin issues, if I remember correctly. Shin issues? That sounds awfully painful. So why they make shin pads? What the hell? But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna shift to some people in the group here. Adrian Soroka, what do you got to say about these two guys? Who do you go with?
I'd keep Falco. I mean, he used to put a shift in for us when when Archibald or Crooks or one of them was injured enough. He put in some good performance at the times. He wasn't always appreciated for his work ethic up there, but he was a handful. Like Drogba was at Chelsea when he weren't scoring up. He was a handful to play against. Nicky Barmby had external issues, didn't he? Because his parents didn't approve. I mean, it's only the 80s and things have changed a lot since the 80s. His parents didn't approve of him hooking up with a divorcee. And I think in the end it was through his girlfriend or the woman he loved, which is fair enough. Like the main reason he left Spurs. I think she was
weird.
Yeah. And it was disappointing to lose Nicky Barmby. He was a talent. And I think his career would have been better had he stayed at Spurs. But, we had a king abdicate in this country for the love of the woman. So where can you knock that?
Hey, good answer. I love it.
I'm glad to see his challenge people because I'm reading. I can see the chat and I'm reading all the chat. But the one interesting fact is Barmby played for England. Falco didn't.
Yeah.
But someone's saying that Falco scored more goals than Barmby.
Yeah, he did.
But real quick. So, Jose, can you tell me a bit about like their play styles? Were they both kind of like in the box kind of guys? Like they did most of their scoring.
No,
in the box.
Barmby wasn't an out centre forward. I mean, Adrian probably saw a lot more of these guys as well, and so did Kelly. But for me, Barmby was Barmby was a link-up player. He linked up the midfield and the forwards, and he could play out wide as well. Barmby, he could play as a false nine. He could play up front. He did quite a bit. Falco was exactly what Adrian just said now, and he's hit the nail on the head. Falco was massive. Falco was a unit, and Falco would get stuck in. Falco was an out-and-out forward, but Falco liked to feel a defender on him. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He liked the hustle and bustle of the game. He'd like to feel a defender. And he wanted to have a tear up with the defenders. But Falco was he's as strong as an ox. And where Falco was as strong as an ox, Garth Crooks and Steve Archibald were more touch players.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we had three. That's why I'm saying in that era we had three players. And he had to compete with Crooks, Falco and Archibald to get game time. And Barmby used to have to compete with Sheringham and Klinsmann to get game time. Would I be far from that, Adrian? Got anything further to add to that?
No, not really. Not really. I mean, I like Nicky Barmby. I like both players. But, it's just the way... Well, it's the way... What happens with clubs? Some players go that you like to keep, and some players you keep, you like them to go, wouldn't you? So,
And
Hold on, I gotta
Romania-
answer this from Kate. Kate, real quick, said that who said we have the best CBs in the world? We got the best CBs in the league. That's for sure, in my opinion. But Kate would probably disagree. But Ellie, yeah, who do you pick out of these two fellas here?
Right. It's a very difficult one because they're two different players. Nicky Barmby was very small, weaved in and out, played more like a winger stroke number 10, link up play like Jose said. Very tricky character, played for the team, loved him. Mark Falco, he was a great finisher, could score outside the box, inside the box with his head. Very unassuming gentleman, on the pitch. He was very competitive, but he wasn't like overly physical for a big guy like him. He used more of his brain than his brawn, right? But I liked him because he also scored 2 goals in the League Cup final for us.
Can't beat that. I think that automatically gets you legend status, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And also, he chatted me up outside the Spurs shop with Terry Gibson. I must add that. He did.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that is
Evil,
awesome.
When I was playing for Spurs ladies, I used to go to the Spurs ground quite often. Sometimes we used to meet there and go training. And he was outside the Spurs shop with Terry Gibson, but that's another story. I won't go there.
We'll have to hear that one later, though.
The main thing is he was a great footballer. I liked him a lot, and he scored a lot of goals for us. And he had to play understudy to Garth Crooks and Steve Archibald, but he still got his game time because when you score in games, the coach generally plays you the next game. So he kept his place quite often, even though he had Garth Crooks and Archibald to contend with. And he found a way to sort of sneak his way into the team. But Nicky Barmby, he was a different player. He was small. He got about the pitch a lot. Very exciting player to watch. More exciting than Mark Falco to watch. But if I had to choose, I have to go for Mark because of his goal scoring prowess as well, and his more physicality. And he just
we need a physical player like that, and right now I feel like that would really suit our squad. And
yeah, he was a very good finisher as well, Mark Falco.
So Jim, we've got Jim and Kate have just joined, but for them, for Jim, because Jim will remember, especially because Kate's going on about centre backs at the moment. Jim, at the moment we're doing Keeping West Ham, and we're doing. Oh, he's gone. There we go. He's answered it. He's already answered it. Falco.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Falco.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, Falco for him as well. That was a fun one. I have a question real quick. You guys, we have the new segment to do today. Should we do one more? I have another Keeper West Ham. Do we do it?
Yeah.
Come on, do it.
Here we go. Gotta see where I put it here.
Who we got?
I'm on pins and needles. Let's do it.
I'm sorry. I gotta figure out where I hid the thing. Might not have added it. Hold on, guys. Hang tight with me here. Aha, here it is. I didn't put it in. So it's loading. 3, 2,
1.
Yes, that's another one of my ones.
Waddle versus Tony Galvin. Two more players that I don't know.
Sorry?
Boy.
What do you reckon, Adrian? Two quality players.
Oh my Waddle every day for me. Galvin was a very hard-working winger. I mean, we really missed him when he wasn't in the team. The work he put in. He wasn't a prolific goal scorer as a winger. But Chris Waddle for skill, inside, outside. I mean, I'm not even sure he knew which way he was going to go when he had the ball. And he was superb. I mean, he was definitely international class and bordering on. I mean, he went to Monaco. Did he go to Monaco as well? He went off to France, didn't he, as well? Quality, absolute quality. He was technically much better than Tony Galvin, who was but Galvin was the more direct. He was a very direct winger.
that's awesome. See, and like I said, I love learning new things about the past, and soon that's going to be an entire segment on this show, and I can't wait. By the way, we've got some people showing each other love in the chat. That is what we're all about here, is love. So good job, everybody, showing each other some love. Jason G though says Waddle all day long for him. Nita says Waddle. And then Jason G said the way he glide past people with the ball at his feet. It's a beautiful thing. And so I got to look up some clips because I've never seen it actually, but I would love to. And anytime you see a player, just gliding through, it's a beautiful thing. And I like that there's different ways to do it too. You could have the Dembele way. You could have it's interesting to see people's dribbling styles. I'd love to check it out. Daniel E says Waddle, of course. What about you, Jose?
Right, for me, obviously, I'm a bit older than a lot of people as well. I love the way I love the way Tony Galvin played football. His wing play and the way that he played football. Tony Galvin was a workhorse for the team, exactly as what Adrian said. He worked so hard for the team all the time.
And look at that haircut.
He would do the tracking back. He would do all the hard yards, and he played. And I thought to myself, I think Chrissy Waddle might have been slightly taller than Galvin, but Galvin for me was bulkier than Waddle. And for me, Galvin used to get stuck in. And, Galvin would pop up with the odd goal with a header because coming out from the wing, going into the box, would get a header because he was quite tall and quite bulky. But Chris Waddle had silky skills. He was silk. On the ball, he was silk, pure silk. But to me, it's offering an alternative of two different eras of two different players. So we played with Galvin down the wing in an era before Waddle. So 10 years apart, we went from having an out-and-out winger in what Galvin did to having what Waddle did. So it's just showing the transition and the changes we made as a club. So
and football, and that football made. You know what I mean? Football was changing kind of at that point too. So yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. If you had to compare real quick Waddle to a player that plays now, so I can get an idea, who would you compare him to?
I would compare him to Bernardo Silva of Man City.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
But bigger, taller.
That's awesome.
Reads in and out. Very good technically, close control, can beat a man just like that. He's off, a turn of pace, which was fabulous. Left players for dead. Yeah.
Love it. Love to see it. I gotta go back now and watch some clips. Kate says, but Waddle sung Dortmund Lights.
Diamond Lights.
Yeah,
Glenn Hoddle and Chris Waddle sung together.
Was it awful?
Yes.
Diamond. Oh yeah. Have a look at it on YouTube. Diamond Lights.
I'll check it out. Yeah, for sure.
Footballers usually aren't good singers, so
no.
Jason G says he will say this though. Waddle always looked knackered.
Yeah, he always hunched.
Yeah.
He always walked around hunched. Yeah.
He's a bit like Berbatov as well. That lazy style.
Was he a smoker? Was he a cigarette smoker?
Style, but then he had a burst of pace.
I mean, that's the way to do it. Especially if you're not very quick, move at a little slower pace, so then you have that little burst to kind of jump into if you need it. Whoa, we got Lee Smithy Smith in the house. What is up, Smithy Smith? Good to see you. I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat. If you've been here before, I apologize, but I think you're a new face. Big up. Glad you're here. We're playing Keeper West Ham. I present to you two players. You pick one to keep, one to send to West Ham. So yeah, just welcome. Big up, big love. Good to have you here, my friend. Jim though says he's got to go Waddle. He always looked like he was tired and then burst into action. But Galvin was a workhorse for the team and was a tough player. Yeah, that's what I'm getting too overall. And then he said I asked if he smoked, and Jim said he never did. So good.
Yeah, he had a skill set, Tony Galvin, as well. He was a different sort of winger to Waddle. He used to push the ball forward a lot and then run for it, right? So he'd push the ball. He was a bit like Peter Taylor in a way, but he had more strength than Peter Taylor. But he had good link-up play with the rest of the team, because he was a team player and he was very likable. Everybody loved Tony Galvin in that era, and he set up Ricky Villa's goal, didn't he, in the cup final, which was fabulous. But
Sounds like an
I've
easy
still
choice
got to
for
go
most
for
people.
Waddle.
There's a comment for you. Look,
Yes, that's what we want. That's what we're going for. Jose especially. He makes them tough. He makes them tough for people. But that's the fun. That's the fun, and having to defend your answer. And then for people like me and Mom and some people in the chat, we get to learn about players, which is always fun to know some Spurs history, know where you came from. And I can't wait until that new segment begins. With our man Adrian over here, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, someone did put in the chat that they've picked Waddle because they never saw Galvin play. So this is what it's all about. It's about trying to educate people and to understand what Tottenham we had, past, present, and what we could possibly have in the future as well. We'll discuss it all.
Absolutely.
Steve Perriman said to me at that same meeting in Ware Football Ground that he really appreciated Tony Galvin for his team ethic, his teamwork. He really admired him as a player because you don't get many players who go forward and then track back, because he was a proper team player. Yeah.
That's awesome, and it's awesome that you've got to have so many interactions with former players. I'm jealous. I bet Adrian has too, though. Now that I think about it, and we'll get to that. We'll get to all that. But guys, that is it for Keeper West Ham today. Those were our choices. If anybody else comes in, we'll show them the choices. Obviously,
I think quite a few people missed the first one.
Oh well, let's get that back in here.
Want to recap the first one, and then that'll mean that we've covered it because I think some of these people didn't miss the first one.
So we got Richarlison versus Nasir Chadli. To me, it's a tough one because they're both decent players. And I mean, Chadli scored more goals for us, but Richarlison, arguably the better goal scorer, at least in the past. His record is better. He's more of an out-and-out striker, but can play on the wing, whereas Chadli was more of a winger who could play as a striker. I love Chadli, though. He was always great to come off the bench and make a difference, be a spark off the bench. I didn't really like him starting matches, I'll be honest. I didn't think he got involved enough. And earlier, Jose was saying even that he kind of hid some matches. But, yeah, whenever he came on as a sub, I thought he was awesome. And this is tough. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Jim, I know you weren't here.
Kate needs to be a little bit more honest.
Oh, yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it, Kate. Tell us what you really think.
So we've got Jim agreeing, saying that there's so much good stuff to learn about Tottenham. We are a history-rich club, and it's been a massive part of his life for 50-odd years.
Yeah.
Nick Brown commenting after Ellie spoke, saying that, there we go, that he watched the Steve Perriman podcast this morning.
Oh, my God. Brilliant podcast. I urge everybody to watch
I love
Steve
this
Perriman's podcast.
Definitely, absolutely. I didn't know he had one. So that shows how much I'm paying attention to things. I'll check it out. Yeah.
And then we've got Kate sitting on the fence.
As usual.
Getting splitters in her butt. Wasn't that the saying?
No, the sprinters are at Jim's, but he's going for Chadley all day long.
There you go. Yeah.
And then Kate hasn't had enough. She has to come out with a bit more.
Oh, man.
Which is one of the worst players I've ever seen in the Spurs.
She's brutal.
She doesn't play. Kate doesn't play. Yeah. That's
Kate
is awesome. Kate's one of the good ones.
Say it, yeah.
Hey, she's brave enough. She's brave enough to say what some people are thinking and won't say. I think he could still turn it around, Kate, but we've been saying that for a while. Time will tell. We'll have to just let him go.
I think there's a player in there.
Yeah, exactly. But is it going to be at Spurs that he makes, his which he couldn't score in a brothel? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he comes good with us. I have a feeling if he goes to another club, he'll score goals there.
Kate's giving it to him, isn't she? Maybe he'll score the next game now. Very seen that.
And hopefully he's watching the show. Good call. Yeah. Chadley, but I cannot dismiss Richie because I'm hoping he starts firing. Yeah, Drilla, for sure. And not a chance he can turn it around, Colin. Let's put 20 pounds on it. A 20-pound note on the bet that I bet he scores 10 goals this season.
Wow.
That's achievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to
exactly.
see
I don't
it.
know. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, 20 pounds. Let's do it. I'll even pay in your beautiful currency.
So I'm just getting the absolute feeling here that Kate has started the Love Richie Appreciation Society.
Yeah. He runs his fan club.
Somebody needs to. I've always defended Richie, but it's so hard after the Luton game. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? His shirt was tugged. They showed it. His shirt was tugged ever so slightly, but it put him off balance. I'm defending him. I like Brazilian men.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that was Keeper West Ham today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. It'll be back tomorrow, like it always is. But now we have. Oh, hold on. There's a couple more. Here. Daniel says he's in the top 3 worst strikers that played for us. I would rather have Rebrov or Postiga even over Richie. That's how crap he is. I don't really know either of those guys too well. But...
Rebrov scored a good goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, have you ever heard Shevchenko?
They were both pretty poor strikers.
Andrei Shevchenko and Sergei Rebrov were the 2 forwards for Ukraine back in the late 90s, early 2000s or whatever.
Yeah.
Shevchenko did it.
He got signed on, by AC Milan and became a big star out in Italy. But we signed Rebrov. Rebrov.
We got the wrong Ukrainian.
Yeah, Rebrov never hit the heights that Shevchenko actually did.
He's been made Ukraine's manager though, Rebrov.
Yeah.
Really? That's kind of cool.
Manager. He's a very good player, but when he came to Spurs, he was a bit like Vincent Janssen. He never hit the ground running. He was a little bit better than Vincent Janssen, but not much.
Vincent Janssen, Soldado. We've had players that looked like they were going to be great and didn't do it. That's kind of why I'm glad we didn't get Gift or Van.
Soldado was a very good footballer.
Vinicius was better than Richarlison.
Yeah.
Carlos Vinicius, I'd say he's better than Richarlison.
If he was that good, he'd be Brazil's number 9, wouldn't he?
Hey, you make a good point. Kate says that she'll take my bet. This is a handshake, virtual handshake.
And Postiga was meant to be the big thing coming out of Portugal. He was a very slight man, very short, but very skillful. And he was meant to be the next big thing. I think we bought him from Sporting Lisbon. Yeah. And he was meant to be the next big thing, but that never hit. He never hit the ground and he hit the straps. And he left, and I think he played in some other countries after being here, but never hit the heights that he had when he was a youngster in Portugal.
His first name was Helder, wasn't it?
Helder Postiga.
Helder Postiga.
That's a wonderful name.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, Kate. We have a section that I think you'll like coming up. Are you ready, Ellie, for talking to us about Spurs ladies, what they've been up to? Let's do it. Hold on, I got something special for you. Let's see how this turned out. And Kate, I called you Kate. Ellie, I stole that picture off of your Facebook. Sorry about that. I needed to get a photo of you.
Did you see it? Did you see it, Ellie? The last photo?
No, I didn't see
it. It was of you.
It
was some young hottie.
Oh.
So that is the intro. I'm working on it.
Colin, I think you're gonna have to do it again so you can see it.
All right, you said it. You said it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to call it.
Yeah, I remember that well.
There you go.
2010.
There we go. And we've got the Queen Ellie here. Hope you like the intro. I can make it a little better. I made that in a hurry.
It's really
That's
good.
my
I
style.
liked it. I like the
Thank
music
you.
as well. Very
Yeah, I
jumpy.
thought it was nice and pumped up for a
Really?
section of the show that's going to be pumped up, especially with how the ladies have been performing lately. But I'll let you kind of fill us all in.
Right, so we've had a new manager come in because we sacked Vicky Jepson, and before her we had Rhiannon Skinner, and we had a terrible season last season. We were losing game after game, and Rhiannon Skinner was chopped, unfortunately for her, because I thought she was a very good manager actually. But Vicky Jepson took the reins over, kept us up. We won our last game 4-1 at White Hart Lane against Reading. And then we went into this season. Obviously, the World Cup was on, the Women's World Cup, and all our players were performing. A lot of our players, actually 7 of our players were featuring with different teams. And they came back. They came back for training because the women's season started on October the 1st, right? And we played Chelsea away. And I watched the whole game. Basically, I watched it back because I was out, and then I came back home and I watched it, and we played very, very well. Considering that Chelsea did the double last season, we held our own, and we just lost the game narrowly 2-1. But we had so many chances in that first half. But then we got the 3-1 victory at home, and then we slammed Reading last night in the League Cup. And now the League Cup is a table where you play 4 teams. It's like a Champions League thing, and then you progress. So we're currently sitting top because we've won our first game 6-0. 6-0.
Wow.
Take that in.
So that's like Spurs U18s, U21s, men's team and women's team all topping table right now.
Yeah, very true. And also what I like to point out is that Robert Villaharm is a very progressive manager. He likes to play on the front foot, and I've already seen the progress. Like the men's team, I can see in the women's team, we're moving the ball a lot quicker, a lot more accurate. We're supporting the front two as well. We're putting numbers up there, and it shows. Because last season we were very disjointed. We weren't backing up. We weren't helping Beth England, supporting her as much, and our midfield was pretty anonymous. Now we've got Kit Graham back from injury because she was out for a long, long time. Jessica Naz is playing to her potential now, right? Because she fell but a little bit by the wayside last season because of injuries. And, I don't know whether you know this, but ACL injuries, they're 6 times more likely in the women's game than the men's
I have heard that.
Yeah, so a lot of women were suffering it. We lost our main striker that we bought before Beth England last season in Ellie Brazil. And now she's come back. And we've got another lady called Martha Thomas up front, who's a very feisty Scottish centre forward. She puts herself about, just put it that way, right? And I love the way the team are playing. They're playing with enthusiasm, just like the men's team when we score. It's all camaraderie, and closeness. You can see that is filtering down to every single team, including our women's team. And I'm so proud of them to get that 6-0 win in the rain as well. It was marvellous. And 6 different scorers, I must add. 6 different scorers. So it was a very entertaining match. Reading had their chances as well, but they were just not clinical, whereas we were. We were very, very clinical in front of goal. And Kit Graham's goal stood out. She just took it from around about 18 yards out, just maybe a little bit further, and slammed it right into the middle of the goal. Really good shot. And I love that player. But my actual favourite player is Ash Neville. I think she's a marvellous player. She should have.
I made sure I got a quick picture of her in the intro for you.
Please. Oh my, she's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. She's like Højbjerg on speed.
Oh man, yes. Get her on the men's team. Get her on the men's team.
Work, but she's got a bit more class about her. She's very competent on the ball, very good at passing. She's up and down the pitch, works hard for the team. I love her. She's fabulous. And then we've got Shalina Sadulski, who's our Canadian centre-back, and we added Luana Beulah to her. But Shalina's just come back from the World Cup. She was a bit injured. She had an ACL injury as well. No, actually, she had an ankle injury, but it was a really bad one. And she came back to the team just recently. She's been on the bench, but she will make her way back into the team. And I'm looking forward to that partnership of Shalina Sadulski and Luana Beulah of Switzerland, who we bought from a Swedish team called HK Bucken, I think they're called. Yeah. And then we got a little Chinese lady called Zhang, right, who scored last night. She's on loan from Grasshoppers Zurich. Very competent player. She's very small. She's probably only 5 foot, but she's so quick and very tricky. So that's another thing we've added to our team.
You got a leopard in the background.
Huh?
Look at that size of that one.
There's a beast back there,
There's
a wild
big
beast
leopard
you've got.
there.
Yeah,
Look at
my
that.
cat. That's my cat Iggy. Yeah, she's a big Spurs lady supporter as well. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this season, whereas last season it was all doom and gloom, a relegation battle, and we saved ourselves with our last 2 matches. But Beth England's got to come back as well, and that she is a top striker.
Hey, really quick, Ellie, this is a good question from Danny. Why has Neville not been called up by England at all, especially the last couple of seasons when she's been really good?
Yeah, do you know what? We've got a very good right back in, what's her name? Jessica Carter. She's very good. So for us to get her into the team, she has to excel even more this season. But I can see it. I can see her breaking in. She's 29, right? So it's going to come. In terms of women's football, 29 is not that old, you know, because women go a little bit longer than men, would you believe?
What's Jenny Hermoso? Jenny Hermoso's about 35, 33, 34, whatever.
34, I think she is.
Yeah, she just won the World Cup and she looked mustard on the pitch. And she's.
I know. Yeah. They really do go longer, and now they're playing for 90 minutes and they're training like the men. They do proper training, you know, on their all their body, but especially around the knees because of the ACL.
Yeah, got to strengthen those muscles around the ligament. Absolutely, absolutely.
The sports scientists have done a very good job.
Just catching up with the comments so you can see, Ellie, because you've been talking to us all about the ladies.
Yeah.
You got Nick Brown that said, I watched the women spank Reading 6-0. It should have been more.
It should have been more. We had a lot more chances.
Drula's saying, while watching the match last night, the commentator addressed Linian, who scored the last night on her debut, as the new Arsenal signing, not the Spurs signing.
I know. I heard that.
Nick Brown said he heard that as well.
Yeah.
Daniel Lee says, did they sack Vicky Jemson? I thought she's assistant manager now. I could be wrong.
They sacked her from the main role, but she's got an assistant manager's role.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then you've got Audio Artisan.
Artisan, what's up, buddy?
He says, afternoon pips, I do love a bit of Becky Spencer.
Yeah, she's a fantastic goalkeeper, right? She plays for Jamaica as well, but at early doors she was playing for England, and then she switched allegiance like you can in the men's game, you know. She switched allegiance to Jamaica, and she had a very, very good World Cup. And I watch her warming up. She's such a good goalie, right? And we bought another goalie, but I can't remember her. No, it's a foreign name. I just can't. I know it, but I just can't get it out of my head. But
It'll come to you. It'll come to you.
Yeah, it'll come to me. But it's Barbara something, but I can't think of her surname. But either way, Becky Spencer is going to be hard to dislodge her because she's a very athletic girl. You see her physique.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the book man said about I love a little bit of Becky Spencer. Yeah, she's a very pretty girl as well, you know. But in terms of her goalkeeping, I think this season is going to be a landmark season because our defence is very good and she's a very good communicator, but she's a very athletic goalie. So we're going to see a lot of praise going her way, I'm sure. Yeah.
So you've got Barbara Woodhouse is what just the girl, I suppose, is saying.
Kate.
It's another name. That's it. Vativoka.
Julia says Vativoka.
Yeah, Barbara Vatikova.
And
Yeah.
then just the girl says Barbara Windsor.
Barbara Windsor.
And Jim says Barbara Streisand.
That's it. That's the one. That's
it.
what
I
it
love
is.
it.
Jim
Yeah.
had it. Jim had it.
She was in goal last night, Barbara.
Barbara. That's it. Barbara, because it's more like Barbara. Yeah.
Baran.
Barbara.
There you go.
Oh, I get it now. Nice. Thank you for singing that out. I didn't. I was like, what?
I was like kind of lost as well. So yeah, I thought it was that time of day. I must be missing something. But yeah, I can understand it now.
You know, I want
Ellie
to really
said-
give
Ellie
a
said
good
this.
shout out to Rosella Ayan as well. I love the player. She's a very slight, slim girl, but she's so powerful and strong. You know, I think Brian Gill should have a little chat with her.
Yeah, have them working
she's
together.
so good on the ball. She's very good on the ball and she uses it very intelligently, just like Kulu does. But she's got a little bit more pace. Not faster than Kulu, obviously, but she's got a little bit more pace in terms of the ladies' game. But she's very good on the ball, and I love her because she's determined to get that ball, you know, and she'll always fight for the team. You know, I love the way she plays. There's lots of different players. There's Drew Spence in midfield as well, who we signed from Chelsea. She's very competent, but sometimes she'll go missing, right? And the team have to G her up. She's a bit like who's that player for Chelsea, the one who starred in the World Cup. You know what? Sometimes my mind goes blank, but either way, she's a very good player. She just goes a little bit missing sometimes. She needs to get more involved because she's a very technical player, and we need that to drive us forward. You know, but we've got a lot of things going for Spurs, ladies. I'm really happy with them, and the manager, he speaks well as well. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad, and this teaches me that I need to watch Spurs ladies more often. So that is something I'm going to do. Thank you, Ellie. We really super appreciate having your point of view here.
We like to bring cheer to the room, Jim says. Daniel, he said she looked good for Jamaica in the World Cup.
She was very good.
Drula says to Kate that she's singing that now, the Barbara. And Lee Smithy Smith, this is the quietest I've seen Adrian. Are you all good, my man?
We're gonna get back to defenders here in a second. I have some stats I pulled up. I know everybody, especially Kate, loves stats.
Right, so can we quantify? Sorry, Kate. So just so we quantify, do we have the best centre backs? Is what Colin was asking, and
she's saying that Arsenal and
there's two ways of looking at this, because by asking the question, you can come up with so many different answers. So therefore, you need to quantify the question that's being asked.
And let's go to eight games. Yeah.
The way that I'm quantifying it is people are saying that Saliba and Gabriel are a far better partnership, but there's a bigger sample size to look at. However, I think we need to narrow this question down to, do we have the best centre-back partnership in the first 8 games of this season? So we're only looking at this season. So that's the sample size. It's just this season. Have we got the best centre-back partnership so far this season?
Yeah. I just remember that girl's name as well. It's Lauren James.
See, I told you it would come to you. I told you it would. Yep.
As you get older, your brain sort of...
Yikes! If mine's gonna get worse, I'm afraid of what it's gonna be like. It's already not too good, my brain. But you're great.
The question, Colin, we're quantifying it is do we have the best centre backs? But we're quantifying it with a sample size only of this season, because these two players weren't together last year. So whoever we pair them up against in the Premiership, it's the sample size is just this season alone.
And then if you want to talk about, everyone wants to say that Guardiola is a better player than Romero. His stats this season don't say that. And I know that, it's just the season. He's new to the team. But his stats aren't even better than Van der Vens, who also just came into the league and the team this season. So
Yeah, that
But when you
comment
talk
by
City,
Danny
Colin, but
Weed.
when you talk City, Colin, right? Let's be fair with City. Who are you going to sample size them at Man City? Because Man City play with Ake, Guardiola, Stones, Diaz. They've got so many players. They don't have one combination. They have several
True.
combinations. So therefore,
Well, I think Romero's
you
better
can't-
than Stones. He's better than Diaz. I don't know. I don't know. I just think he's definitely better than Guardiola and John Stones. But again, that's just me.
before you bring the stats up, look, Kate has responded by saying,
Yes,
Oh.
we do.
Well, Kate, I thought you were saying something totally different earlier.
I think
don't-
but if you quantify the question,
right.
then it makes it easier, because people that have been answering these questions are looking for sample sizes. You've only got an 8-game sample size for the Tottenham defenders, where you've got much bigger sample sizes for other partnerships throughout the league. You've got Jim saying, for me, yes, the first 8 games. Drula's asking, how long have Saliba and Gabriel played together? Romero and Van der Ven have played 8 games, so there's no way you can compare them.
Boom.
Jim's come back and said, for the first 8 games, we have beaten the best teams. Fact, Coys. You have Dieter R saying, our centre backs look good to me, ain't being biased.
Boom.
And Kate's come back in with 8 games only. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Well, cool. I agree. I think we absolutely do. And over time, it's just going to become a better and better pairing.
It's measuring the question. Do you know what I mean? Because when you just put down, have we got the best centre backs? Then that opens it up to interpretation of how we're asking the question. So when you narrow the question down, then perception goes out of the window, and you get an answer that's better because you've narrowed down the question that you're asking.
Yeah.
Fair, very fair, and I agree with you completely. But look at the love. Look at the love here.
Kate's also coming in, which is interesting, saying 8 games only, and we have the best keeper too, if you ask me. After 8 games.
Yes, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Real quick before we jump into that, what do you think? What do you think Postecoglou was whispering into Romero's ear there? Sweet.
Watch out, Maria. He's saying, "Watch out, Mia's waiting for you in the dressing room."
Giving him a little bit of a warning. I like it. I love it. So
right,
sorry,
don't you dare fuck about whilst you're on international duty.
Yeah, you better come back working. All of your ligaments and muscles better be fine when you come back, sir. I cut you off, Jose, and I do it all the time.
But Jim's saying, and in the next 8 games, we will still be the best team.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
As you guys have seen lots of center back pairings at Spurs, do you think that these guys are going to go down as some of the best? I mean, I know it's early days, but they're not going to. I don't think they're going to drop in quality like out of nowhere. Like, you know, if they start out well together, especially defensive partnership where it's very much reliance on working together, knowing what your partner is going to do. I just don't see them like their form dropping off of a cliff. So say they keep this form up. I mean, do they go down as some of the best center backs in Spurs history?
Well, we could ask Adrian that, weren't we?
We were.
It's not going to happen, is it? I mean, I've seen periods when Spurs were going to go on and have success and do well, and I'm seeing the same things again. And it's not delusional either. When people say we're getting excited, it's delusional, and I'll explain why. Right? We played Burnley, Brentford, Sheffield United, and we came from a goal behind in each game, and we went on to beat Sheffield United, playing non-stop football, scoring in the next minute. We go away to Arsenal, where we're expected to beat, and we come from 2 goals behind. They take them 4 games. If we'd come back from 1 game behind or 2, you could say it's lucky. But when you get to 3 or 4, that is not luck. That is not luck. And then, we go on and we beat Liverpool. And people say we're lucky because it was an own goal. No, that was an enforced error because we pressurised non-stop. It's not luck, right? And then you look at the table and people say about, Spurs won't get Europe, all the rivals, they're all having a pop at us, saying, delusional, wait, the wheels are going to fall off, and it won't happen. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look, we got 30 games left, there are 90 points, right? Liverpool got 5th last year, which gets you Champions League football with 67 points. So in theory, we would need 47 points right, out of 90, right, to get Champions League football. Now that still leaves, right, 43 points, right? Any Spurs fan think we're going to lose 43 points this season? Even if we go on a bad run, get some draws, 43 points, let's put it in a perspective, like, that's 14 games. Do you think, does anyone out there in their right mind, especially now we beat 3 of the sides at the top 6 last year, we'll drawn with 1, drawn with Arsenal, beat Liverpool and beat Man. So in them round robin games, we're already 7 points up, but definitely 6 points we wouldn't have last season. No way in a million years Spurs aren't getting Champions League football this season. Not in my mind. Now, if someone wants to argue the case against, please come and do it. But I just think it's too many points. I mean, if you said on average for 4th spot, the stats are on average, it was actually since 1992 when the Premier League started, it's actually 71.5 points to get you Champions League football. So you're saying 72 points, right? We got 20. If you look at it that way, we would need another 52 points. So 52 points out of 90, right, still leaves 38. So it still means you could lose 12 games instead of 14 and another 2 points from somewhere else. I don't see Spurs losing 12 games. If we go, a bad run for me would be like we lose 1, perhaps we draw a couple of games, fans get a bit peed off because we haven't won a game, but we wouldn't be dropping that many points. I just don't see it. Seriously, I mean, I'm not being delusional. I'm just doing the maths, just mathematically. I do not see Spurs losing 12 games this season. Do you? Any of you?
I 100% agree with you. No, I don't see it either. I can't. Something terrible would have to happen. Like we would have to have injuries to Van de Ven and Romero that were both like season-ending injuries. You know what I mean? Something really wild would have to happen, and even then, I think we could probably scrape by.
The whole first team lineup will have to be injured.
Whoa, Jacob's here. Big ups to you, Jacob. We got a lot of comments. We got a lot of comments to go through. So I'm just gonna hit them. With the last time we talked about Jim saying in the next 8 games we still will have the best team. Nick Brown says you just got to keep Kate away from Sava for a while. And she sees the light. That's hilarious. But Mia says in the showers. That's referring to waiting for Romero, I believe.
Yeah.
Kate says she disagreed with Sava last night about center backs. Were you saying the ours were the best? Was that what you were saying?
Yeah, and they tried to persuade her that they weren't.
Well,
okay.
They're fools. Yeah, Kate. Glad you see the light, and you're on the light side of things.
Stick to your guns, Kate. Stick to your guns.
Well, you can't. No one can say that anything's bad about Van de Ven as a centre back, can they? So
no, he's hardly made a mistake.
Shows you could be critical of Romero last season, but this season now he's got a right pairing. I know Van de Ven was up for man of the match against Luton, but Romero had a very good game against Luton. If people didn't see what he was doing, like he also had a good game against Luton.
Especially when the ball came over his head and he controlled it beautifully and spun away from the attacker and went up the pitch.
He's a World Cup winner. All right, you can't say you'd be lucky to be a World Cup winner. You got to be a proven player, but he's a quality defender. And I did have arguments last season with people debates more than arguments, with people in other pods over Romero. I said, look, he's a quality defender. And they were going, no. But we know what the Spurs fans base is like. When anything goes wrong, everything's wrong and everything's to blame. All our players are crap. The ones on their stock goes up because why weren't they playing? And the players who didn't even make the match day squad, their stock goes even higher. Oh, he didn't even put them in a match day squad. And that's what you get. But you're used to it. I mean, I get it because I get accused of being delusional. But I always try, through my positivity, to base my positivity with facts. So I was like, okay, then, right, that's your opinion on a player. That's fine. I haven't got a problem. Anyone's got a different opinion on a player with me. But I will state what I think is right or wrong about that player myself in person. If people don't want to listen to it, that's fine. I haven't got a problem with it.
Kate's saying you're delusional again, Adrian.
On podcasts to get involved in conflicts, all that, just to state facts. At the same time, I won't try and browbeat people into my opinion either. I've said, look, I've done this to state the facts. You either listen to it, you want to know it, or you don't. That's fair enough. I'll move on because you can't. You're not gonna you're not going to change people's minds by browbeating them. But if you convince them with facts and truth, and the interesting things, facts do not cease to exist because they're ignored by people who choose to ignore them. They're still there. They're still there. They're still there. So that's it, really.
Boom!
Like
I love it.
Kulu is better than Neto. Sorry.
Statistically, Kulu is better than Neto. If you look at his stats and his carries, I mean, I
was proving it last night.
I didn't know if that came out. I mean, I remember I was flicking through because I got so many news feeds to put stuff in the group and that. And I looked at one, Kulu's had the most carries in the box. He's had the most. It's the most. Obviously, there'll be stats to go against him, but I think unless you're like a Chris Waddle or David Ginola going down the wing for Spurs, that like, oh, you're not doing your job or something's quite wrong. Listen, all I'll say is to me, Kulu was one of my first names on the team sheet. He brings so much like Tony Galvin did to the team back in the day. He brings so many attributes to that team in so many areas. I can see why he's always going to be picked. So mark my words, he's got 15 assists and 9 goals in 56 games, right? I remember all these facts. I just do, right? Which is a very good record for a wide player. 15 assists is like 1 in 4. 9 goals. The goal ratio should be improved. But under Ange Ball, if Richarlison can't get 15 goals a season, and I'm expecting Sonny to get 20, 22, 23, because he's got 6. Sonny's got 6 in 8 games. Last season, he had 6 in 17 games. But we're very attack-minded. We've had more shots on target than any team in the Premier League. And I'm expecting even Richie, if he has a crap season, to get at least 12, but he should be getting more than that. He should be getting between 17 and 20, right, under this system. And if he don't, well, then he goes at the end of the season, doesn't he? Or unless
See, on the Neto situation, my 2 pennies worth for what it's worth. I mean, I had a chat with you, Ellie, already about this. Right, for me,
I had a bash out last night on Subby's show.
I'm not disputing that Neto is a good player. Neto's young. He is a good player, but on the eye test,
Kulu.
No, but on the eye test, is he the same age? Okay.
Yeah, same age.
Because for me, on the eye test, he looks good, Neto, when he attacks, but it's not just about looking good when you attack. It's what the end product is. What's the net product that you completed? And when you look at the net product, Neto doesn't score goals. Neto doesn't assist, nowhere near as much. And the thing that you get with Kulu is you get the dirty side of the game with Kulu, because Kulu will help out. Kulu will do the dirty work as well. Neto doesn't do that for me. Yeah. So therefore, for me, when you then look at the stats, on the eyes, he may look more pleasing, Neto. But then when you look at the all-round game and you look at the stats, it's all for Kulu.
I mean, before Ange brought on the subs to tighten up the flanks where Luton were getting a joy in their last game, I mean, I would have been worried. If Kulu weren't in that side, I could have seen us losing that game.
Yeah.
Because they had their joy. As the young kid come on one of the podcasts I was on and said, a Luton fan, he said, we think we'll get joy down the flanks. I said, yeah, that'll be your only chance unless you hit long balls forward. I said, because I said, there's no way in a million years you're going to win the midfield battle. And they didn't, did they? We had 97% of play earlier in that game. So, no, look, if people don't like Kulu, they don't like Kulu. I mean, we don't pick the team, we only express opinions. I think he's probably one, although Ange's got a lot of...
all about our opinions. Obviously, if you look at Neto, he's fast, he's tricky, he can run at play. But then you look at the other stats compared to Kulu's, and he fouls on every single one of them, especially when he loses the ball. Yeah. And he's lost the ball quite often, and Wolves have lost games because of it. Yeah, so obviously he's taking risks because he's that sort of risky player. Whereas Kulu is more intelligent, he's more cultured. He knows when to pass it simple, when to pass it across the ball. If he can't find anybody, he's not going to just do a stupid cross for no reason.
Even if fans think he hasn't been that great this season, okay, but in 8 games he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. If a striker got 2 goals, if Richie got 2 goals and 2 assists, or if Brennan Johnson had got 2 goals and 2 assists, or even Velez, whoever you brought on, Spurs fans would be raving about him.
I know. It's just because he's a bit of a slower player than the rest of them, but he's got intelligence, the boy.
Yeah, and
He's got
midfield,
football
whoever
intelligence.
we pick when Bentancur's back, and even if you have to put Højbjerg in for the odd game, and midfield and back five stays injury-free, no problem with that at all. I have got concern. My concern is the front three. We haven't fired on all cylinders as a front three. Whatever permutation Angie's picked, it hasn't all fired on the front at the same time. When it does, we're going to batter someone, right? We will batter someone. We will score 4s and 5s. But like at the moment, Richie's not doing it. People say, "Oh, it's a bad miss about Solomon and all that." I get that. It's a bad miss. But apart from against Burnley away when he had 2 assists, cameo appearances, we don't know what we're missing because we haven't really seen over a season what Solomon can do. And the same against Brennan Johnson, although he did look, fooled me when he got picked for the Arsenal away game, but he did have 2 chances against Arsenal, 2 shots and all that. But and when we were going in for him, I wasn't a fan of going in for him. I thought he's fast, he carries the ball forward. What else does he give you? What else does he give you? Does he give you assists? Can he hold the ball up? They say he can play across the front three. Can he? I watched the videos, don't get me wrong. Mind you, he did get, I think he got about 10 or 8 goals the previous season. And I know why we went for him instead of Gif Orban, which is looking good now. Mind you, Orban's got, I think, 2 goals this 8 games or something. But Johnson, we don't know how good he's going to be. I mean, again, you need to see him for a season. You know, he's the same as Les. Looks good in the videos I see, very good in the air, very quick and all that. But we need to see him for a season. So the only 2 proven front 3 players we've got are actually Kulusevski and Son. They're the only 2.
They scored 8 of the goals. They scored 8 of our goals as well.
We haven't seen enough of them. But you don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting the first game back, whether he rests. Mate, he's suspended. So whether he then resting for the Palace game, so I presume he can play against Chelsea, I don't know. I don't think Angie's the sort that'll bottle it like that. I think he'll just play and go for the win in each game, so he'll play him.
Yeah. Guys, we've got tons of comments here that we gotta get to them just because we go through all the comments here on this show.
Let me fly through. So Nick Brown says Big Vic was the position I'm worried about, not him, just the fact the goalkeeper is a tough position on the pitch. Danny has pitched in with the top 4 defenders this season for him have been in the order of Saliba, Van der Ven, Romero, Diaz, and Gabriel. So I would say, as a 2, the partnership for Tottenham comes out top. Drula says that shows you the mentality shift and togetherness of our squad. Kate says, depend on injuries, but I think we'll get into Europe. Jim goes on to say, we are hard, skillful, we have great mentality, and we have big hands. If we cannot get excited after 8 games, there is something wrong. We are becoming a force. We've all greeted Jacob, and for those, I'm going to speak for all those that support Tottenham. He went on a show last night on Staffy TV. He went up against TJ Warren, and all I've
TJ Waffle.
All I've got to say is I tuned in, and the minute that Jacob opened his mouth, it was a TKO. You didn't have to say anything more. As soon as he opened his mouth, before his first word was uttered, it was a TKO.
You just give him the Texas attitude.
It was annihilation. He turned up with maracas, red maracas as well, Jacob. So he really gave it to him. So
what a good man. I got to tune in. I got to check this out.
I got to back because I had to go to bed, but I'm going to watch it back.
Everybody, check out United Spurs of America if you have. I bet you have if you're here.
And then we've got good afternoon, good evening, good morning. The Potato, who's in the chat, says Saliba, what he pocketed Haaland, he's the best defender when Son ragged him out in the North London derby. Everyone is quiet. He isn't even the best defender. Then Romero and Van der Ven this season.
Boom.
A load of people saying hello to
Haaland had a mare. He really had the mare. He didn't have to pocket him. I could have defended against Haaland and still beat him.
And then
so rare for him to have an off match.
A lot of players commenting. We've got loads to catch up. Sorry, a lot of people commenting on this Staffy show and bigging up Jacob. Then you've got Jim who says, Adrian, you lose a game under range. you better win the next one, or shit will fly.
It's true, though, isn't it? It's true. Because you know the way a fan base are. They're like bipolar, aren't they? You know, so with
it's true.
And Nick Brown says, I predicted top 7 this season, but end of December, I'll definitely have to change my mind.
If we're still where we are now on the table, so kind of football.
Before the season started, I said 5th. I said we could get 5th in that last Champions League spot, but after these 8 games, I think we could get 3rd or 4th, even. Well, 3rd, 4th or 3rd. I think at a push we could get 3rd. I still think Man City will win it. I still think Liverpool are the strongest next side with depth of squad. And then I think it's up for grabs. Don't get me wrong, Man United and Chelsea are not going to stay where they are. They will close the gap, right? They will close the gap just by beating the other teams around them. Yeah. Brighton look good, Newcastle look good, West Ham even look good. So they seem to be about the top 8 teams you could mention. So I think everyone had mentioned them. I don't think you've got to be clever to mention those.
All I've got to say on that matter is at the moment, with 8 games in, Man City have lost 2 games. Man City don't lose 2 games near enough in a season. Not many more than that. So at the end of the day, people are all picking points off each other at the moment. We just happen to be intact. We're undefeated at the moment. And I think it's all up for grabs. The whole lot is all up for grabs. There is so many different permutations to finish in the top 5 or top 8 or whatever you want to call it. And we'll have to see how we go on. But I like Jim. He's put the double on, isn't he, Jim? So I like Jim's theory of putting the double on.
Absolutely.
As the potato saying, if we can go through the winning streak of games until the Newcastle game, I think we can think as us to be title contenders, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I'll be looking for Christmas and then the January transfer window. We need to get at least a couple of players in. We're not going to get, other side 5 players. Look, unless there's opportunities, I'm hoping Ange has got players under the radar that no one else has gone for, because then we got a chance of getting more than 2 players in if they're sort of relative unknowns, that we can bring in. If you're talking about top quality players in January, you've got a month to do the deal, even though a recruitment team will have lists of players already that they want or that Ange wants. And he'll talk to, like the new guy, Lange, who Mile Jedinek, when he was at Villa with Lange, wasn't he? And Lange is now our director of football. And apparently Mile Jedinek was already spoke to Ange, would have spoke to Scott Munn about Lange as well. So there's been quite a little round-robin connection and conversations there, bringing him in. So Lange has been brought in because he's known as well, right? Yeah. So then, you think, well,
he's technical director, isn't he? That's what his official title is, technical director.
It's DOF, though, in any other word, isn't it?
Yeah,
technical director.
They changed her attitude in that DOF.
They changed the names, they changed the titles because they wanted to bring someone in to sit above what was Paratici's old job.
And Paratici's
Scott Munn is chief football officer,
correct,
and he's second to Levy. So Levy now is supposed to be stepping away. Yeah. So he will step away from probably any football involvement in the club, because you use teams when you go to strike deals for players. You use agents and you use intermediaries as well. It's not that simple. There's a lot of money spread around on these agents and intermediaries when you try and strike a deal with another club. So Levy will step away, but he'll still be there, because basically at the end of the season, when the clubs announce what money there is for transfer funds, barring sales, that they'll say, right, this is what you've got, you can spend unless you sell, right? Any other deals that would be done. And then Scott Munn will have that money to deal with, and he'll have to go with Ange and all that and say, look, what are we looking for this? If we can get this player for this and that, but you want 2, but we've got this amount of money. And bear in mind, you don't need hundreds of millions of pounds to go out and buy players. You need the down payment. You need the down payment. And most clubs, even most businesses, if you went to someone like, we're going to give you 12 million down payment or 10, they'd bite your hands off. They would bite your hands off for down payment. Right. And the rest is paid over the length of the 6-year contract that players got. So, that's the way they're done. So, if we had 60 million in January, there's no reason we couldn't get 5 players with 12 mil 12 million down payments. But also, clubs pay hardball in January because they know
they don't want to lose the best players.
Kelly, who can play at centre back and left back, and he's a fast player, right?
Yeah.
Bournemouth are right down the relegation zone at the moment. They're not going to sell him. They're not going to sell to the end of the season. Clubs that are involved in Europe that got a chance of winning the European competition or getting European football for their team next year, they're not going to sell their best players.
No.
January is a very hard transfer window. Having said that, we've done quite well because we got Dele Alli in on January. We got Mora in, didn't we? We got Kulusevski and Bentancur in, and we got Porro in. So actually, our January transfer window has been pretty good. But
Yeah. And it's all down to Paratici. Honestly, I think a lot of that's Paratici in the deals that he makes. I hope we allow Paratici to keep cooking, even though we've got all these other guys in.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 players in January. I don't see any more. And all the time we're being linked with midfielders and strikers and all that. Guys, Ange wants a centre-back. He wants another quality centre-back. I'd love Bramer or Tapsoba. I mean, I think there's more chance of getting Bramer than Tapsoba because Bramer only cost Juventus 40 million euros, 34 million quid, and he wanted to go there because he wanted his Italian nationalship and all that, right? But something's gone wrong there somewhere, and he might be looking for a way out. So I think if he's cost them 34 million, we could probably get him for 50. Best defender stats last year in Italy. Tapsoba's just signed a new contract, so now you're down to Adebayo, who's on a free in January. So he can sign for who he wants. But he wanted Monaco before, so now they might come in for. Look, if he's that keen on going to Monaco and don't want to prove himself in the Premier League, I wouldn't want him at Spurs anyway.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna start playing. We're gonna start playing at Phillips. I totally believe that in my heart. I know that you think we need to go in for another center back, and another one wouldn't hurt to have 2 pairs basically But I think that Ashley Phillips will get a lot more game time than I think that you think he's going to get. I think that we paid a decent sum for him, and I think he was one of the players that Ange really pushed for. But again, he could be a club signing. I could be wrong, but we know that Ange pushed for Brennan Johnson.
He's a very good player, Ashley Phillips.
Yeah.
I mean, you need the game time. So game time is like half hour when Ange does his sub on the hour in a lot of games. If we got a game 1-3-0, you bring him on. You blood them in the right way, or you blood them at home game anyway. If you're going to give them, if we got injuries, you're going to give them 90. You blood them in a home go first. You don't blood them away to Liverpool, do you? Man United or Man City. Like Ange is no fool. He's been around, but I would like the 4th quality centre back with pace, preferably a left footer. But they're very few and far between. But
true. Why is that? Why is that there are so few left-footed center backs? That's the strange one. Yeah, weird. Very weird.
The shortage of them.
Yeah, I'm kind of ripping through the comments here really fast. Keep going.
We may be able to squeeze a defender out on a more positive note if they're in the last year of their contract this year at the clubs they're in Europe and all that. And I think Lloyd Kelly is. I think he's in his last year, so we may be able to squeeze him. And he can play left back, so he would be, and he is quick, and he has been captain for Bournemouth, so he's got good attributes. And we did look at him, although on my list of centre backs,
he's in his last year. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. But yeah,
15th on my list, right? That we went in for. It was only then I discovered that a season or 2 earlier, before he had a bad injury, we were interested in him, but we didn't go for him. So if Ange wants him, if he suits Ange's system, he's got the pace. I think he's got everything Ange looks for. But I know deep down that Ange wanted Tapsoba. He wanted Tapsoba.
Yeah.
Right?
They wouldn't sell him to us, will they? They wouldn't sell him to us.
No.
I think it was their CEO came out and said we're not selling him.
Nope, absolutely not. I think so too. Yeah.
And they've got Tarn and Hincapi as well. Hincapi's left-footed. So they've got Tarn and Hincapi there, the player centre back from Leverkusen, isn't it? And they're flying at the moment. I think Leverkusen.
I think they're top of their league, aren't they?
Beer Talk says, can't we just clone Van der Ven? He's like, that's the thing now, right? Cloning. Yes, Levy's working on it. I'm sure.
That'd be good.
That's where some of that money's going. But yeah, guys. So we're not ending quite yet, but I do have to work in 30 minutes. But I work from this exact same spot right here, so I don't have to go anywhere.
Cool.
But I did want to go ahead and so, Adrian, I hate to cut you off, but soon you'll have your own section, and we'll have way more time to talk. But it is time now for a part of the show that was introduced by my co-host here, and I think that he should introduce it today. If you got a second.
Jose?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the picture come up.
Oh, I didn't put it up yet. Hold on, sorry about that. And go.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's time or we've got to that part of the show where we need to do the guest corner. The guest corner is for the people on the panel or the people on the screen that you can see, as well as all our lovely community in the chat, to give us a moment in time of why they support Tottenham, what makes them feel good about Tottenham. It could be something that sticks in their mind as a memory. It could be a match that you went to. It could be a game that you saw a great goal in. It could be one of disappointment because we ride with the ups and downs with Tottenham. So it could be one of the disappointment. It could be one of sadness. It could be one of joy and elation. But yeah, we'd like to hear what you guys have got, and we'll tell you what we've got. We give one a day or one per show per person, and like that, it means that we've got lots in the memory bank to share with everybody.
Yep, absolutely. Let me get this banner up here so we can all see each other. Who wants to go? Who wants to go first today?
You choose.
I choose. Okay. Well, I try to make him go first every day. So how about Jose?
Cheers.
You didn't go first yesterday, so yeah.
I know I did.
Yeah.
So yesterday I gave you one. Someone said to me, why didn't you say our dealers and Villa yesterday in the comments? And the reason why I didn't do that is because I did our dealers and Villa in a previous show. I don't know whether it's mine or on Meta Football TV, but I'd already done that one, so I'd covered it. So I didn't want to do it again. But today's one that excited me, it's a day that excited me, and I was like, wow, it's one of the moments that I went, wow, was on the 31st of August 2010.
the date as well.
31st of August 2010.
I know.
2 hours before that bloody damn window was to shut. It came right out of the back door. Nobody had heard, nobody knew nothing about this at all. But we, 2 hours before, we made an offer of 8 million to Real Madrid for RDV. Yeah. And it absolutely excited the bones off me to have RDV come into our club on deadline day where nobody, because back then, I mean, internet was probably in its infancy, Twitters and all shit like that was in its infancy, but no one had picked up on this transfer at all. Nobody. It came out of left field. Nobody knew nothing about it. He came available at the last minute, and Tottenham ended up getting the player. And he was a player that I was excited for us to have at the club. And, you know, in recent times, if we wanted to see attractive football, my God, did he fit that squad. We had him in the squad at the same time as Modric, Bale, and players of that ilk. And it was just superb. We had sexy football again. It was just superb having him in the squad. And for me, it was a wow moment that we were signing Rafael van der Vaart.
That's a good one. That's a very good one. Hard to contest with. We'll see if we got any in the chat here real quick. Mile High Hospital though says that's when he became a Spurs fan. Nice. Big up, Leo. Big up. And then, so, yeah, it looks like Daniel Lee, real quick, just to kind of like piggyback on that. I only got to see Van der Vaart in matches in person when I went to Villa Park, and he scored both goals. Pure class. Yeah. It sucks because I didn't get to see that much of him play. A little bit, but you know, he was coming towards the end of his time at Spurs whenever I really got stuck in. But yeah, wonderful player, and it's cool that how he came about. Like you said, no internet, there wasn't, you know, any of that. He just kind of appeared, and I can't imagine the excitement around the place. I bet it was nuts. And then we got Nick Brown. He's got that Danny Rose goal versus Chelsea when he got injured. Yeah, he got cleaned out. They fucking cleaned his clock. He really got hit. Do you guys remember that? He scored. He was in the box, and then it was a really nasty slide tackle. And it just absolutely destroyed him. But he scored. But he got the goal. That was when he had the red hair. I think it was supposed to be purple, but it ended up being kind of red. You guys remember that?
Went a bit wrong.
Yeah. Kate's got one here. Her memory is Kabul's late winner against Arsenal in the same game. Van der Vaart hosted the Gooners.
I want to virtually equal that call when Eric Dyer hit that long ball forward to Dele Alli away at Chelsea, and he's got one touch and smash. That was after Ericsson had equalised just before half time with that dipping shot, which everybody sort of said, well, should the keeper have got near to it? But no, it was Dele Alli's goal. I mean, that was a superb goal and an unusual long ball from Dyer, to him. I thought that, and especially as it was there, and we won 3-1 there. You know what I mean? Because we all hate them.
In that same game, when Van der Vaart scored the penalty, and he went to the Arsenal fan.
Yes, I wish I just got rid of a photo today of that. I just got rid of. I had to make room for more banners and stuff in here, and I just got rid of the shushing picture. I had it. That sucks. But absolutely a good one. That's an iconic photo. I've seen that photo so many times. Everybody, if you can hit that like button, we're trying to get 30 likes on the show. Thank you guys so much, you lovely lot. We really appreciate you guys for being here for sure. Big ups. NA Beer Talk. This is very recent, but his oldest cried last year when Sonny broke his face. Yikes. Yeah, I'm glad it didn't end up being worse. We were all scared that it was going to be something really, really bad, but luckily he made it back and was okay. Was that just last year? That seems longer ago.
Yeah.
But
it was last year. He was wearing the mask, wasn't he?
Yeah. That coincided with him playing kind of like shit, but of course you would. Danny Rose, his first game against the Gooners, he scored that screamer. Oh my god, I nearly wet myself. Yeah, that is an amazing one. Yeah. For me, sheesh. Someone else is going to have to go.
Ellie, you go. Colin, you check. Colin, you check your phone.
I've got a really good story for you. Right, so basically 1978-79 season, we had Ozzy Ardiles and Ricky Villa came to our club. Right, after the World Cup, Birkinshaw went and signed them under the radar again, like your Van der Ven signing. There you go. But I remember I was 16, right, and we were playing Aston Villa at home, right, and I cut up with my brothers about 20 bags of newspaper, because the old ticket tape. We wanted to give them a welcome, and we'd cut. Honestly, between us, we covered 20 bags. Nowadays, you can't do that. You can't take those bags in. But in those days, you could, and we just pelted them down from the shelf side, because we were shelf side kids, right? We weren't the Park Lane kids. We were shelf side, right? And we pelted them down from the shelf side, and it looked amazing on telly. But unfortunately, we lost the game 4-1. So we went home very sad that day, but we were very elated because of all the ticket tape we'd thrown down. And you have to watch it on TV. You can get it on YouTube with all the ticket tape coming down to welcome our two RG boys. Come on. And they went on to win us 3 cups. Really, even though Ozzy couldn't play in the 82 final, he'd already contributed in the first round. Yeah.
Ellie, the first game that season, though, before they got the welcome, was because Nottingham Forest were champions and we were right at Forest, because I went to the game. No one gives Spurs a prayer and else chance, and we drew 1-1.
Yeah,
we drew 1-1 at Nottingham Forest, and and it was.
And I can't remember.
There must have been 1,000 Spurs fans in that ground.
I think we lost 4-1 at home to Aston Villa. Then the next game was Liverpool, and they trounced to 7-0. And I thought, what's going on?
That was away.
2 World Cup winners in that team. I couldn't believe those two.
That was away, 7-0 away.
Yeah, 7-0 away. And then slowly, the boys got used to British football, English football, and then we just flew off those 2 FA Cup back-to-backs, and then the UEFA Cup. Come on.
So sad that I missed him. But hey, real quick, gotta be a slag time. If you would like to become a Patreon member, like Chris Peters and Wayne Bonner, please smash the link I'm about to throw up and check out the membership options. It really helps the show. Like I said, I've got cool stuff, flag, a light that is making me look more pale than usual, but cool stuff. And it helps the channel. It helps us grow. My cats just knocked my TV off of the desk during the show, so my TV's over here is broken, but that's fine. But, just stuff like that. And so here's the link. If you would like to do that, feel free. No pressure at all. Like and subscribe is just as good. But there is the link in case you are tempted to do that. Check it out. Cool stuff come with each membership option, including priority to be on the new Spurs game show we're about to have called Spurned. It's going to be a game show where single Spurs fans look for love, and we'll help them.
We got the 30 likes.
We got the 30 likes. Everybody, big up to everybody in the chat. Everyone watching the show, 30 likes. Thank you guys so much. Real quick, though, Julie, mom, said she's loving all these memories. Me too. Me too. This is one of my favorite parts of the entire show. And then Jim said 3 likes from his household. Him, Kate, and the big screen.
I've thanked them for that already.
Perfect. Yes. Wonderful. I was okay. Yes. So
you're busy doing some other stuff, so I think.
Yes. Thank you. Getting ready, logging into all my stuff for work. But yeah, perfect. You guys are awesome. Perfect. I want to go ahead and share my memory. Actually, no, you go first, Adrian, because I still have to make sure I got a great one.
On what? Sorry again. Sorry, I was watching that on my phone.
Adrian's been ready. Adrian went first. I went second.
Okay, so
Adrian went second, and I think Ellie's just gone.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me. It
was on a memory, Adrian. You've already given us yours, haven't you?
Yeah, the Dele Alli goal.
Yeah,
did I already say the Chadley goal against Arsenal where he shushed the crowd and got a yellow card for it?
No, you haven't yet. But I'm sure you'll tell us. Don't give it away. The cat's out the bag.
Chadley came on as a sub, as he does. It was late in the game, and he scored just one of his trademark right-footed curlers into the to the goalie's left side. Was up pretty high towards the top corner, and then he ran and shushed the crowd and got a yellow card just for shushing. I've never seen that before. The atmosphere was pretty hostile, and he did run right in front of their fans.
That's what you're getting it for. It's not shushing the crowd. You're inciting the crowd by doing that.
Yeah, really. You're making everybody's job harder, all the stewards and everybody. But yeah, no, he definitely knew how to rile people up and was a bit of a shithouse, even though it wasn't his main characteristic. He definitely had it in him. That goal was awesome, and just one of the reasons why I love Chadley. He had that same like, I don't want to say it's reminiscent of Bale and Ronaldo, the way they would just cut in and then shoot that curler of a shot. They played, on inverted wing back, inverted wingers, and they would just cut in and have that shot. They could always beat a defender or two. I don't know. He was a great player. I really miss him, and I loved that goal. Julie, mom, said love watching Sonny's goal versus Burnley.
Yeah, what he went running through. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick agrees. That was a blinder. Sonny wife says, thanks, great show. Thank you for sticking around. 2 hours and 8 minutes. You're still here. Thank you so much. And then real quick, I want to get Audio Artisans. I remember being at the North London Derby in '92 and seeing carrots flying out of the stands for the donkey Adams. I don't understand this all the way. Is Adams a player for Arsenal?
Yeah, Tony Adams was their captain.
That's awesome.
He was their captain back in their heyday when they were winning things in the late 90s, early 2000s. And everyone used to call him a donkey.
There you go. Carrots for the donkey. I love it. And then moms again got Wanyama Screamer versus Liverpool was freaking awesome too. Yeah, I still don't know if that ball ever landed on the ground. It is. Yeah, it's probably still floating around up there in the atmosphere somewhere. That was one hell of a goal. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up today's episode of Talking Ball, hosted by Jose and Colin. We've got another episode tomorrow coming for you with the addition of the man below us, Adrian's got his own segment coming tomorrow. Do you want to kind of preview that real quick for us, Jose? Let them know what's coming.
It's called Tottenham's History.
Perspective.
It's going to be a historical perspective.
And what we're going to do is on each show, Adrian's going to talk to us about different periods in Tottenham's history, and I've asked Adrian for one, especially to start tomorrow off. I'm not going to give it away what it is because it's really interesting, and rather than people have to go and look it up and research it, I'd rather them hear it from Colin's good mouth, and then after that you either learn from it from there, and if you then want to go and look into it further, you can do so. But it will be a segment that Adrian will do for us, because Adrian's got a wealth of knowledge, and it will be a segment that he does for us, and it will educate a lot of the fan base, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
I'm
too.
hoping to educate a lot of the fan base who have stated, which I'm not against, oh, why haven't we got a statue for Jimmy Greaves, and why haven't we got a statue of Glenn Hoddle and Bill Nicholson? I know there's a bust from and all that, or Keith Birkinshaw or others, or other great players, or the double team and all that. And I just want to put hope tomorrow to explain and put it in a perspective. These are the ones that you know through your era or you've heard of from parents about recent eras, but our history in depth goes back far further than that. And the importance of Spurs and football and how football is played throughout Europe today, total football and all that. I'm going to give you an insight into all that and how Spurs were pioneers of total football.
Can't wait. You would. This is going to be awesome, but I don't want to talk about it anymore because, like Jose said, this is for tomorrow. This is for the show, but I am very excited. You've got me excited, Adrian. But guys, I got to work in 13 minutes.
And then we've also got. Sorry, can I just also say we've also got Ellie's section tomorrow as well.
Of course.
Because today we didn't get a chance, but tomorrow we're going to ask Ellie to just tell us a bit about herself, rather than the reporting in Tottenham. We just want to find out a bit more about Ellie. When she played football for the club, and get a little snippet from her as well. So that'll be on tomorrow's show as well for everyone.
Absolutely.
To hear from Ellie's mouth.
You got it, 100%. And guys, just want to say again, thank you both for your time. Jose, you have to be here. You don't have a choice. You're one of the leaders. But Adrian, as always, thank you for being here, and thank you for being open to do the segment. We really appreciate that. We're so excited.
Before you show, can you go back to this comment in a minute? I just want to show you got Lee Smithy Smith saying, "Got a chip off, guys. Great show."
Smithy, hey, it was really good to have you.
We've also got Beer Talk saying that he's curious about what happened with the club during World War I and World War II. So that's something to think about for future shows.
Yeah.
Sonny's wife's telling us that Sonny plays against Tunisia tonight. And
everybody tune in.
She hopes he returns to London healthy and unscathed.
Please God.
Jim is saying, great show as always, gents.
Thanks, Jim.
Yes, we need to know about Ellie.
There's a lot that we don't know. I can't wait. Yes.
Jacob, thank you very much. He's thanking us all. Nita Art is thanking us all as well for the great show. And NAB Talk, I love history. I'll make sure I tune in to hear what Mr. Shoker has to educate us on. Big up Yard. Colin, I take you back to what you had on screen just a minute
ago. No, and again, it's just me being a slag. But if you guys would like to contribute to the channel, if you like what you see, consider joining the Patreon. It's I got it somewhere up here. Let me find it. Boom. Adrian, Jose's got it. Losing my mind here. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone here. We got 30 likes during the show. That is phenomenal. 32, guys. Big love. Thanks for showing the love. Thanks for being here. I'm going to put up the thing I always put up at the end. Let me take off.
And you got big up guys from Kate. Thank you.
Kate. Big love, Kate. And I just wanted to say, as always, this show would not be possible without viewers like you. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. I get all quiet and public radio for this part, but guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really, really love having you here. We're excited to see you tomorrow, same time. The show is moved from 3:30 to 4. It will now be on 4 UK time, which makes it 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time in the United States. So tune in, guys. Everybody, please tune in. We'll be back tomorrow and bringing you more of the same great content. And as always, I guess we'll say, come on,
you
you Spurs!
Thank
Let's
you.
come back from international